so this is Saskia from the Bright Future Tarot. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to take a brief look at the Emperor card at number 4 in the tarot. So here we have the Rider-Waite card, the traditional image of the Emperor on his throne. The Emperor is shown sitting on a throne because obviously these cards, I think the illustrations were developed in the 1900s, and it dates back to when kings and kind of lords ruled the land, and obviously they would sit on a throne. And thus it indicates the general idea of leadership, or masculine energy and leadership as exemplified by the Emperor. So in the Bright Future Tarot you have a modern version of that. You've got a businessman sitting in his office, you've got the big tower blocks and the skyline behind him, indicating the number 4 is very important, which you've got in the chessboard. So if you think of the 4 corners of a square, you have the idea of stability, and that's what the Emperor is all about. It's about the stability of the identity and the sense of self. Now, in this card, he is shown wearing a mask. In my tarot deck, the Emperor is the idea of the ego mask. So it's the self that we present to the world, the sense of self that we want other people to perceive. And of course we have the duality in the tarot, which is the soul and the ego. And you see in the Major Arcana the journey through life happening where we essentially become enlightened and we become less and less attached to the ego and the ideas that we have about ourselves. So when we get to the Emperor card at number 4 in the first cycle, we have a process of our Fool, 0, is going through a process of strongly developing their ego identity, and that's why you see these different masks in the background. So it's the idea that we can change our identity, we can be different people, and that really our sort of ego and our ideas about ourselves are just that, they're just ideas. So the Emperor therefore is ruled by air. He's also very strongly associated with the King of Swords. Again, a sort of an intellectual male kind of energy where we're very much in our head, in our conscious mind. And when the Emperor comes up in a reading, he indicates a strong sense of leadership, taking control. And the positive aspect of the card, you know, it's somebody who leads really well, who's naturally good at leading people, and sort of making decisions. They're good in management. So if somebody had a question about running their own business or being in a leadership role and this card came up, that would give them a very positive yes. It's also the drive to make things happen very much in the physical world, as in terms of making money, work, business, pushing things forward. And those are the positive aspects of the ego identity, of kind of making your mark on the world, if you like. He's also got his chessboard in front of him, because there's a certain element to it of, in order to lead, in order to succeed in this capitalist world that we live in, you need to be able to compete and beat your opponent, essentially. So there is that, again, that sort of masculine energy, and the Emperor is very much, whereas the Hierophant is a kind of spiritual or more compassionate version of male energy, the Emperor is very much the counterpart to the Empress. So he's the male principle in creation. So he's creating things, he's active, it's active energy, we're doing things, we're leading. So a positive card, when received upright, we've got a strong sense of ourselves, we feel good about ourselves, our self-identity is positive, we can lead, we can create structure, we can plan, and we can really manifest things and make things happen in the physical world in a way that's stable and has a certain amount of structure included. So if we reverse these cards and we look at the reverse meaning of the Emperor, when this guy is reversed, the ego has become fragile. So if you think about when you feel bad about yourself or you don't have a good sense of yourself and your ideas, if you think of I am statements, so I am good, I am bad, etc. When we have these I am statements and they become negative and we feel bad about ourselves, we can become either very defensive or very spiky, or we can become also overly domineering because we're trying to defend our ego and sort of say, look at me, and to sort of establish our power, and we're overcompensating for that by possibly being a bit bullying. So if you have the Emperor card come up reversed, it either means that someone is not currently able to lead in some way. They're not good at managing people or creating structure and strategy, planning, things like that. It can also mean just very simply that we're not feeling very good about ourselves. Our ego mask or our sense of ourself has kind of become negative for some reason. Quite often you will see significant court cards around that, meaning people cards, which will indicate that other people are influencing us. It can also, when combined, for example, if talking about a particular person or character, if this comes up with a reversed king or a reversed court card of any kind, it would indicate somebody, particularly if used with the reversed King of Swords or reversed King of Pentacles, it would indicate somebody who is quite, it doesn't necessarily need to be a male person, someone who's quite domineering, shouty, who kind of throws their weight around and could actually be a bit of a bully. So just be a little bit careful of that. If combined with the reversed Page of Swords, who is kind of a mercurial character, like a shapeshifter if you like, I would say be a little bit careful, because you have got someone who perhaps will be a bit deceptive and dishonest, which is the Page of Swords reversed, but also will try to dominate and manipulate people and push people around with this quite heavy Emperor energy, this masculine energy. In other very simple terms, it also represents, whether upright or reversed, it represents male-dominated industry, industry generally, work, money, that kind of thing. But it's generally a very positive card. It means that you've got your act together, you know who you are, what you want, and you're moving forwards and creating structure towards those things. So let me know what you think of this meaning in the comments, to let me know if you agree or if you have other ideas about it, and I look forward to sharing the next card with you. Thanks.